Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
What bridge is it? Paul, what bridge is this? Paul, what bridge?
911, where's your emergency? Hello? Police, fire, EMS? Hello?
We're in a boat crash on Arthur Street.
Whereabouts on Arthur Street?
In Arthur Street, the only bridge on Arthur Street.
Archer Street?
Archer's Creek.
Archer's Creek. Archer's Creek. Is it? Okay. What's going on?
It's by Paris Island.
Right. What's going on?
We're in a boat crash.
You know what kind of a?
A boat crash.
A boat? Did you say a boat crash?
A boat crash.
Okay, so you're at the dock? Hello, are you at the dock?
No, we just crashed in a boat.
Okay, are you in the water or are you?
We're in the boat.
Okay.
We have someone missing.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, okay?
I'm calling in reference to a boat crash. There's 6 people on board. They currently have 1 missing. All right, it's in Archer's Creek, which is right there off of Paris Island. There's a bridge on Paris Island. They're underneath it. They crashed into the bridge.
Alpha 29, that's right.
10-4. I'll be en route to the Bell Bridge. Can you also notify Port Royal and let PMO know as well?
Affirmative, we're making notification.
Okay, do you have a description of that person?
It's 1 female. That's all the description I have of her right now.
EMS 1 respond to an accident with injuries. 50 Marina Drive Boulevard on Paris Island. Repeating. It's going to be a change in that location. They're on Malecon Drive, down right before you get to the traffic circle.
Copy.
County's on scene, Port Royal's on scene. Evidently, the girl was sitting on her boyfriend's lap when they hit the bridge at a high rate of speed, and now she's missing.
Which bridge did they hit? The one on the causeway?
Stand by, sir. They hit the actual Paris Island Bridge, right? We don't know. They're not. They just keep telling us they hit the bridge. 310 got on scene. He said the fog is pretty thick. At first, he couldn't even find who they were. Find them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Meet the Murdaugh family. Yeah, the Murdaugh family. I know a lot of people like to call them the Murdaughs, but based on the spelling, I think that shit says Murdaugh. But if you want to call them Murdaughs, you go right ahead. I will refer to them as the Murdaughs. So meet the Murdaugh family. There's Buster, there's Paul, there's Alex, and there's Maggie. Scratch that. There's Buster. There was Paul. There was Maggie. And there almost wasn't Alex. Now this case has so many twists that the best writer at a shitty newspaper in New Hampshire couldn't even come up with this. Now there's drunk boating. Plenty of dead bodies. Death seemed to follow this family around, like the bum at the gas station asking you for $1. And when you told him you got no change, he still proceeds to ask you for a cigarette instead. Body after body linked to this family. The housekeeper that reportedly tripped over the family's dogs and died. The young woman that Alex's son Paul killed after flinging her off the boat while he was driving drunk. Then there's the hit and run of Stephen Smith. Then Paul and his mother Maggie were murdered, shot with 2 different weapons.
This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police and the ambulance immediately. My wife and child have been shot badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hurry.
Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hello?
I'm still here. Stay on the line. I'm still here, okay? Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot. Mr. Murdaugh, go ahead and talk to Carlton.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay.
Colony County Communications.
Carlton, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennel.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No, nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, and did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, ma'am. I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you.
Oh. Oh, man. Oh.
Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions don't slow them down, okay?
Man, if I ever call 911, I hope she don't answer.
And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody's. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number? And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really, no, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'm going back down there. Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay, can you do me a favor, Mr. Murdaugh, and turn on the flashers on your car so that way they can see where the kennels are?
21. Central come down station 1-8. You will need station 1-5.
This led to Alex Murdaugh going on a drug binge and stealing money from his firm. Failing to cope with life after his wife and son were murdered, he hired a man to kill him in an attempt to leave his remaining son, Buster, a $10 million life insurance policy, as he believed his policy had a suicide clause, but apparently that was only for a 2-year period.
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency?
On Salkehatchie Road.
Okay, what's the address on Salkehatchie Road?
I'm by the church.
What church? What church are you talking about?
I don't know the name of it with the red roof.
Okay, what end of Salkehatchie Road? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
At the Hampton County side.
Okay, what's going on?
I got a flat tire,
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped, and somebody stopped to help me. And when I turned my back, they tried to shoot me.
Oh, okay. Were you shot?
Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
You shot where? Where were you shot at?
Huh?
Did they actually shoot you or they tried to shoot you?
They shot me, but...
Okay, wait, you need EMS?
Well, I mean, yes, I can't drive.
Okay.
And I'm bleeding a lot.
Where part of your body?
I'm not sure. Somewhere on my head.
Your head?
Somebody just stopped for me, ma'am. For 911.
Okay. Still?
Hey.
Okay, let me speak to him, see if he can tell me exactly where you are.
That church? Okay. Red roof. Yeah, hurry, please.
Okay, about 2 miles from the pedestrian road there.
Okay, and what's your name? I'm still here. I'm still on the line with you. What's your name?
Alex Murdaugh.
Alex Murdaugh?
Yes, ma'am.
And you see you were driving, you got a flat tire, somebody stopped to help you and they shot you?
Well, they pulled over, yes, ma'am, like they were going to help me.
Okay, stay on the line with me. We're going to get some.
I'm bleeding pretty bad.
Okay. Stay on.
St. John's Missionary Church.
St. John's Missionary Church?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you give me a description of the person that shot you or shot at you?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, it was a white fella. I'd say
a white male.
A fair amount younger than me. Really, really short hair. You have an ambulance coming, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You think one of y'all can drive me to the hospital? Yes, sir. You want to get the truck, though, because I got a baby and needs to go in the back. You think one of y'all could get in this car and drive me? Yes, sir. I can. They're going to drive me to the hospital. Ma'am? Ma'am?
After pretending to be shot by an unknown person, his lie quickly turned to truth, and he and the shooter were arrested. Alex Murdaugh went to rehab and he was fired for stealing money from the firm. But many still wonder if Alex is responsible for the death of his wife Maggie and son Paul. I personally don't believe that, but who knows? He was willing to take himself out for a life insurance policy. Who's to say he wouldn't have taken his son out for his policy, or his wife for her policy if they had one? Was their housekeeper potentially killed on purpose? Now, there's not really enough for me to go on when it comes to her, but I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Gloria Satterfield, in February 2018, there was an accident. Alright? There was an accident at the Murdaugh home. And she reportedly tripped by the family dogs. She spent 21 days in the ICU before passing. And Alex Murdaugh reportedly said at the funeral that he'd make sure the family got an insurance settlement. But 3 years later, and no money was ever delivered. On October 14, 2021, Alex was arrested for obtaining property by false pretenses. Now, Alex doesn't strike me as someone who would murder his family. He just really doesn't. But if he was going to do so, I could definitely see him hiring someone else to do it, just as he had done with trying to stage his own death. And I can't even fault the guy for wanting to leave the earth. If I waltzed in and found my wife and son murdered, and then my pops passes the next week, I might be a little suicidal myself. And you'd think maybe Paul Murdaugh himself would be a bit suicidal after being responsible for the death of Mallory Beach, but my guess is Paul wasn't all that worried about it. And speaking of, many seem to believe that the murders of Paul and Maggie were revenge for the death of Mallory. I wouldn't rule it out, but I'd say it's probably unlikely. But what other motive would someone have to viciously murder Paul and Maggie in June 2021? 2 different weapons were used, one on Paul, the other on Maggie. Was this done in an attempt to throw off investigators and let them believe that they should be looking for 2 suspects instead? With sources familiar with the investigation telling the Island Packet that Paul was shot in the head and upper body with a shotgun, while Maggie was killed with what appears to be an assault rifle. Sources have also said SLED is investigating the possibility that Paul was the killer's target, and that Maggie was killed because she was there as happenstance. Now your guess is as good as mine. All speculation here, but I can't imagine one person carrying around those weapons. We're not talking about 2 pistols here. Now, was Paul the intended target? Most likely. Yeah, most likely he was. If he, her, or if there were 2 suspects, they were likely not after Alex, or would have targeted him. Or perhaps he was the target, and he just wasn't there, leading to the 2 perpetrators to improvise and instead kill Maggie and Paul. Perhaps they were planning to wait for Alex, but Paul and Maggie spotted them by the dog kennels, which led to their demise. So many ways this could have went, so who knows? I don't know, but I would like to know. I think it's safe to assume nobody wanted to kill Maggie, and safe to say nobody was probably targeting Buster. So Alex and Paul, to me, seem like the likeliest of targets. But was the right target killed that night? The multiple gunshot wounds were reportedly deemed overkill, going on to say, those are the kinds of things you don't need to do if you're just trying to kill somebody. Where they were shot, too, also makes a difference. The full article will be in the description below to the side, or wherever YouTube decided to move it by the time you're watching this. Somebody wanted to kill somebody in the Murdaugh family. But who? Who do you think it was? Was it a revenge killing on behalf of Mallory Beach? Or was it revenge for something else we may never know about?
Hampton County 911, where's your emergency?
Hello, I just going down Crocketville Road, and I see somebody laying out.
What road are you, what's the name of the highway that you're on?
I know it's Crockerville Road.
Just know it's Crockerville Road.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. And which way are you headed?
Okay, you know the back way to go to, like you going to Horse Brunson?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on that road just before you get into Crockerville.
Turn to Crockerville, make that right.
Okay. Come to Crockerville, take a right.
Wait, take a left. When you go to 601, Bamberg.
Uh-huh. If I'm going toward Bamberg, I'm gonna take a left onto that road.
Yeah, like you going to I can get a road called 14. You can go to Sandy Run,
But you're not on Sandy Run Road.
I think it is. This Sandy Road goes straight on out.
Okay. All right. And is it in the road or on the side of the road?
You in the road.
Oh, in the road.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your name and call that number?
My name is Ronnie Caper.
Okay. All right, Mr. Caper. Can I get a phone number for you?
Let's see. I don't know the number off this phone, but you can call this number back. I'm going to work.
Okay, but this is a good number to reach you back at.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll get an officer headed out that way to see what's going on.
Okay. So he laid in the road. I ain't moving or nothing like that. But somebody going to hit him. It's dark. Somebody going to hit him.
All right. We'll get an officer headed out that way.
Okay.
All right, sir.
All right.
This is Stephen Smith. So who's Stephen Smith? Well, he was involved in a hit and run that many don't feel was actually a hit and run. However, the Murdaugh family seemed to be believed to have been involved. SLED received new information that led to Stephen's case being reopened. So why has the Murdaugh family been linked to Stephen? Well, Buster and Stephen graduated high school the same year. Stephen was coached by Alex Murdaugh. It was reported that them Murdaugh boys were involved. Various people said Buster Murdaugh was involved in a story that says he may have tried to hit him with something while passing him on the road. Victoria heard it from Chandler. And others didn't even hear it from Chandler. So the rumors were spreading. Some heard about Stephen getting hit by a car, but felt it was murder and not an accident. But why would someone do that to Stephen? And who? Hopefully answers on this will soon come to light. Were both Murdaugh brothers killers? Could Stephen have been murdered by Buster? While Mallory Beach was killed due to Paul's drunk boat driving, which he deserved to face consequences for, but for many, they figured he'd get away with it due to who his family was. It was even reported that police didn't even know exactly who was driving the boat, despite body cam footage confirming that officers were told that Paul was driving the boat. There's no doubt about it. Paul was driving the boat. But Paul will now never face justice for what he has done, but ultimately got the same punishment that he unintentionally inflicted onto her. Now the most recent update is that a judge has frozen the assets of Alex Murdaugh after lawyers sued him, claiming he's trying to hide millions of dollars in property. The documentaries that will be made on this case in the future will definitely be interesting. There is so much going on here with this family. And where there's smoke, there's usually fire. I don't know what to think of this one. This your boy Atlantic City. This was another episode of Crime City. I'll catch you next time. But what do you think about the Murdaugh case? There's so much to think about. Too much going on here. This case is full of suspicious activity. So I'd love to know your perspective on the case. If you don't mind hitting that like button, I'd appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time on Crime City.